Hey guys, Willie and Murfitt here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode on Luke's Classic Mini. So in the previous episode, I set out originally to get the car started and then found a load of other things to do, including painting the engine, fitting the ancillaries up, etc. So lots of things that got done weren't on the radar to be done in the first place, but obviously it's done now. It just meant that the job took a little bit longer to do. So in this episode, the plan is to get the engine started. I know you don't love me like you say you do. The brakes and the clutch need bleeding. In fact, the brakes need to be attached up in the back, which now the car's up in the air, I can do that nice and easily. I need to put the fuel line from the rear to the front in. I need to cut that to size. I've got a length of pipe. And then I also need to connect up the HT leads. I'm going to run it to start with these spark plugs in, but once I've got it running up to temperature, I'm going to drain the oil out, do an oil change, to make sure everything is just as it should be. New oil, new filter, new plugs. The thermostat needs attaching down. Obviously new coolant. So when Luke gets his car back, it will just be ready to drive and hopefully enjoy the country lanes and just enjoy the car for forevermore. Really, that's the plan anyway. So I guess the best thing to do is to get down on the ground and get this car. We'll get this job started. I'm going to start with doing the fuel lines. In fact, no, I'm going to start with clearing out all the crap that's underneath the car because there's a lot of it. That's my first task. Let's get on with it. So today's task, fit some new fuel pipe. This is a 1/4 inch outer diameter. I need to make sure I run it down. It's going to go up the toe board, bend to go into the fuel pump, and then it go along pretty much the same as the brake pipe, routed round, going down up into the pipe that's obviously dangling. And what's going to happen is it's going to join up here with a P-clip, so it'll come through these pipes, join here, and then it can join like so. Now that's the plan. The best thing to do, as always, is just to crack on with the work. Right, so you can see that the flexi hose is here, or the fuel hose. Then I've bent it around to here so I can put a clip from the bracket on the subframe to the brake pipe, and then it's clamped into these little tabs. Now on the brake pipes I had some rubber, like plasticky rubber spirals that go in. I haven't got that for this, so what I'm going to use is an old bike inner tube. I'm going to chop off a length, and then I'm going to wrap it round, it's like a half moon, put it back in, and then I can clamp the pipe up. Now doing that, it's going to stop any rattle, so you don't want to drive down the road hearing that. It'll also give it a bit of extra protection as well from wear and tear and stuff. So once I've done that, I can put the fuel in the car and then turn the key. It should fire into life. Right, so I've got a bit of fuel in the tank. Just making sure there's no leaks or anything under here. Dry as anything, which is fantastic. Underneath, no sign of any leaks. Just going to connect up the HT leads, which actually did a little trick. So one cable tie, number 1. 3 cable ties, number 3. 2 cable ties, number 2, and then the last one is over here. Let's poke it up this way. 4 cable ties, number 4. One, like they're all attached. It's probably not going to start for a few cranks. When it does, it'll be very, very noisy. Let's go get the keys. Chloe, you ready for this? Yeah.
She likes that.
Oh dear, she did not like that. Right, well the car started. Just double check, no more leaks. So again, it is dry in there, which is great. That's going to be put back in. Underneath. Ooh, what is that? There is a wet patch. Oh, so underneath. We've got a leak here, so this clamp isn't quite strong enough for this thing. I need to get a tighter clamp, which unfortunately that's a 14 to 16 mil that came with the kit, and it's too big, so that's a bit of a shame. I imagine that's probably going to be the same for the 2 in there, and actually the one on the bottom of the fuel tank, but that's not leaking. I'm guessing actually the one on the bottom of the fuel tank is a vertical, straight down. So the fuel's just going to be running straight through. Yeah, oh, what a pain. Oh well, at least it starts, it runs, and I'm super happy with that. Super happy. So I'm just going to quickly dry this up, and then I'll try and find something more suitable for that fuel clamp. Here we go again. Another day, and I'm back in the garage. So, today off camera, I've done a few little bits and pieces, partly because I forgot to press record. So what I have done is I've welded up the bracket to the bulkhead. That's now nice and secure. Just sprayed that in a underseal. So that's all done. Pretty much apart from the radiator and obviously a service, the engine bay is done on bleeding of the brakes and the clutch. I've filled up the reservoir. I was hoping to use my Easy Blade, but I haven't got a cap that fits this, which is rubbish. So the next job I've been doing is I've masked off the doorstep and the sill. So I'm going to get underneath the car and I'm going to spray another coat of this undersill. Now, the reason I'm doing this, I think, underneath is because here there's a load of blue and there's obviously primer and stuff here, but there's also patches that I've possibly not covered that well, so I can go underneath and give it a thorough coat. I'm going to do one side at a time, and then obviously going to go across to the other side and get that sorted. So that's the job now. Spray this undersill and move on. Right, so hopefully this is going to look pretty good. You can see the definition between the sill and the underside of the car. So I'm really happy with that. There's one bit just here I slipped on, so I can touch up, but overall really pleased. So next job, just to get inside the car and fill these bungs. So originally, from the factory, they had some metal press-in bungs, and then over time they popped out or been replaced, or sections of the floors have been replaced, and they were replaced with a rubber bung. So I've gone to Mini Spares and purchased these. Now these are coming from a recommendation from Mark, who is one half of the Classic Mini Workshop, and he says he uses these on all his projects. So effectively, you heat them, you put them into the floor, and then you push down and it kind of melts into the floor. That's my understanding of it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So I've got my heat gun and I'm just going to give this a go. So apart from practically melting the end of my finger, these are in, and that is hard as anything now. The rubber stays quite sort of flexible, but it's set and it's kind of bonded to the floor. I'm really pleased with that. So that means that the water shouldn't in theory come into the car, and well, if it comes in, it will get out as well, but most importantly, it won't come in. So this section of the floor, it's finished. There are no bungs on the rear, but there are 2 bungs over that side. So I'll do the same process again over there once I've finished painting. But what I'll do underneath is I'm just going to spray the underside of these, because they're like effectively, well, I don't know if they're bare metal or coated, but it'll just blend in better with the floor. So that's the next process. Okay, so that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I really hope you're enjoying the content so far. If you are new around here and haven't done so already, please consider becoming a subscriber by clicking here. And if you want to watch the next video, click up here. Leave the comments down below, and don't forget to click on the like button also. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.